Hey guys, welcome to Cam and Joe Reacts. So ultimately, I consume way too much media, and my kids are a little older, so I consume a lot of different media
You
than
said
Cameron.
it, not me.
You know, I have a problem.
Well, it's all about admittance.
Well, I'm admitting it. Well, and I'm also admitting you don't know who Wesley Huff is.
I don't. Not yet.
So I'm super excited to show you this. So if you guys don't know, I'm excited to show him Wesley Huff. This is somebody that kind of took, this is about a year ago, he took the world by storm when it came to apologetics and debunked a lot of like Christian myths that you hear. And so I'll just give a little description. Like here's on his website. Wesley is currently the Central Canadian Director for Apologetics Canada and has been a guest on Variety Publics from Joe Rogan, Piers Morgan, Apologia Radio. He holds a bachelor's in sociology from New York, a master's in theological studies from Tyndale University, and is currently doing a PhD in New Testament at the University of Toronto. So
Awesome.
he breaks it down. He actually understands the history. He's gone through the lore. He actually has script.
That's awesome.
So, you know how we were growing up being told everything was evil? He hits on this one.
Cool.
So I'm just excited. I'm not going to go past that. Just hit it.
I'm in.
I thought he was succumbing to the will of the people.
No,
I thought it was a train. There was a runaway train. There's nothing he could do about it. He's like, the only way that we can keep the empire together is we start following that. And then there's all this conversation of them like including pagan rituals into this new version of Christianity, which I'd love you to speak on, so that the pagans would more easily adopt it.
Yeah.
But you're telling me that this is just like completely false.
So there are like there are kernels of that's true in the sense that like Christians would do things like build churches over the sites of old temples, in that they said like you're coming here anyways to worship. Now worship the true God in the same location that you're regularly aware of going to anyways. But the assimilation of pagan practices, that's a myth.
How do we get the eggs in Easter?
That's a Middle Age thing, because eggs were associated with both new life and spring in Europe. It's a European thing.
Christmas. How do we get Santa?
Santa is like a combination of Saint Nicholas, who is a 4th century bishop, and Sinterklaas in Germany. I think it's a New York thing. I think eventually the Dutch in New York.
Yeah, that's fire. Good for y'all.
You're gonna take credit for that one?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, he should. He should. Yeah. Him and him.
And so it like all comes together.
So this doesn't exist prior.
What?
The celebration of Christmas.
Oh no, Christmas goes really old. Yeah. So there's a guy named Julius Africanus in the 2nd century who's preoccupied with figuring out how old everything is, and you know how he gives us the date for the creation of the world, and then he like adds up. So part of what he's doing is he's a Christian, and he's like, when was Jesus born? So he looked at a bunch of different things, and he reckons that he's figured out when Jesus was, like when when Mary got pregnant, and then he counts 9 months and gets to December 25th. And so that's, is it 24th or 25th? Why did I blank?
25th.
I was right the first.
Oh, you know
why?
why?
Just ran with it. Wow.
When do the true Christians celebrate it?
January 6th.
Damn it.
What's going on?
So the Orthodox do it on January 6th. But it's the same date, we just use different calendars. That's why.
Oh.
You guys stuck with the old calendar. We went to the new calendar. It's the exact same date. Our calendars changed.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
What about Halloween?
Halloween is All Hallows Eve, and the like pagan stuff appears to have been entirely invented by commercialization.
So you're saying there's no pagan influence on Christianity?
I'm not saying that. I'm just saying like the accusations of Christmas is pagan, Easter is pagan, like that's nonsense.
What about the accusations that like even the Jesus story was taken from other myths and other religions?
Before he jumps on that, bro, what do you think about that?
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah. Well, growing up in church and growing up in a Christian school,
Yeah.
there's always like,
Oh, you celebrate that?
oh yeah, oh dude, you always get that like kind of side eye of like, now remember guys, make sure to come to this harvest party, this harvest festival. It's like, I just wanted to go trick or treating.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
And like, sure.
Well, and it's funny.
But I mean, he speaks to the commercialization of Easter, and like, how do we get from the resurrection to an Easter bunny? How do we go from the birth of Christ to a fat man in a suit and all that? That's wild, man.
Yeah, no, and I love that he's like, no, this guy literally goes, no, so this is the date, and then they counted back 9 months and said,
Yeah,
this
it's
is
a-
it.
it's a trip.
This is how we figured it out.
And then what does AD stand for? Is that Anno Domini?
Yeah, Anno Domini, after death. That's Latin.
But yeah, but if you go, I thought Anno Domini was also in the year of our Lord, meaning not necessarily AD for after death, but Anno Domini meaning, because if it was BC, which we'll call before Christ,
Yeah.
you don't just skip 30 years, then all of a sudden have
No.
AD for after death. So
Sure.
I believe Anno Domini starts when Jesus was born. I believe.
Potentially, yeah.
Maybe.
Dude, I don't know.
We'll check.
I'm not
I love this stuff.
Wesley Huff.
But I'm like nerding out right now.
Absolutely. Yeah, and dude. Yeah. So
let's go.
he jumps in. So like even the Easter stuff, I've heard a lot of people. I like the idea. It's like, where did Christians worship? Well, they just took over old temples.
Yeah, that's a trip.
It's like,
That's a
no, that
trip.
makes sense. Like, no one's going here anymore. We're
Yeah.
going to turn the Temple of Aphrodite into a Christian church
Yeah, it's
now. Like, people are already worshiping there. We might as well.
Yeah, I like that. Not that you're necessarily assimilating to anything non-biblical or any way, but it's like, hey, there's already a parking lot. Like, let's
It's
build
an
a
empty
church.
building, man.
Just build a church. Yeah.
The Egyptian god Ra or something like that. Like, what do you say about this? Is it just like a common occurrence? Like, how do you feel? Is it bullshit?
Yes.
Really?
Well,
Talk
so
that shit.
It's Jesus mythicism, and no historian, like even the people who doubt that Jesus exists, don't use that argument, because usually historians are aware of the primary sources. And if you look at the stories of like Horus, Ra, Mithras, Attis, if you look at the details and then try to find the parallels, they're just not there. It was made up by largely and popularized by the
Dan Brown?
Zeitgeist.
Oh.
You know, the movie Zeitgeist?
Yeah, yeah.
Like a YouTube thing?
Yeah.
It's made up from thin air. So if you look at the actual stories of like Horus, Ra, the accusations of virgin births and 12 disciples, and you won't find them in those things. You won't.
Really? And isn't there connectivity to some Indian?
I think the story of baby Krishna, I think there's some connectivity in that. I think he was the king tried to kill him, like couldn't do it.
So it's not that there aren't parallels that you can make.
Yeah.
It's that, like, if you look at the actual core of the details. So there's a fallacy called the Texas sharpshooter fallacy, where it's this idea the Texan is shooting in the side of a barn, and he then finds the closest cluster of shots, and he paints a target around it, making himself look like a great shot, right? So if you want to find parallels, you can find them.
and then
but-
you make the accusation afterwards.
Yeah, so
that makes sense.
Let me see if I can give you an example. So John F. Kennedy and Abraham Lincoln were both, the presidencies were exactly 100 years apart. And Abraham Lincoln had he had an assistant by the name of Kennedy, and Kennedy had an assistant by the name of Lincoln. Both were assassinated by a man who went by three names, right? John Wilkes Booth and Lee Harvey Oswald.
Yeah.
Kennedy was assassinated in a Lincoln,
Yeah.
and Lincoln was assassinated in the Ford Theater.
Yeah.
So, like, if you want to go down the rabbit trail of trying to find all these things, you
That's
could argue
interesting.
that John F. Kennedy never existed. He was just a copy of Lincoln. And
That's
The
interesting.
great one is that before Lincoln died, he was in Monroe, Maryland, and before JFK died,
he was in.
Marilyn Monroe.
Mark did. But it's these kind of things, right? So you
That's
can find,
beautiful.
you can find parallels.
I saw this on like a VHS when I was like 8 years old.
that's good.
why
That's a credible
my
source.
details are. That's the story of baby Krishna. But the details are a little iffy. But I remember growing up in such a Christian country that I was like, oh, they took this from the Bible.
Right.
But I didn't know Hinduism was older and the story of Krishna was older. So that just came to me. That wasn't like I'm trying to find the thing. And that always just stuck with me because I remember thinking like, oh, they stole this from Christianity, which is very funny.
So there's also like issues of correlation and causation. So if you do find parallels and you want to assert that Christians invented it, you have to find the causative links rather than just the correlations.
Yeah.
Because the correlations could actually exist, but things correlate all the time.
Yeah.
And the idea of an incarnation within Christianity is very different than the idea that you would find in something like Hinduism or even like miraculous births in the ancient world.
Wow.
That was it, bro. What do you think, man?
I just love hearing. I just love hearing people speak that are masters on topics.
Absolutely, man.
Period.
Yeah.
Period. Hearing Hans Zimmer speak about
music all day, bro.
Right. I'm
All
just
day.
like I nerd out to like depth of knowledge.
Absolutely.
On anything.
Well, what do you think? I mean, of the cluster concept of like
That's-
just shooting the side of a barn and then
No,
circling
it
the closest.
makes a ton of sense. I mean, because you can start to do that with so many things.
Yes.
Right. And just when you pan out a little bit, it's like, oh, okay, well, maybe there's only so much truth there. But I mean, you have to take anything like that. You just have to bring it back to the source. You got to live by your own convictions.
100%, man. So I reckon
Man, I want to.
that's a 3 hour. So that's a 3 hour podcast on
Really?
Flagrant.
Oh man.
I listened to it driving back.
You guys
from
ready for 3? No,
You should know, dude. I only gave you a snippet, but like you gotta hit that up, man. If you like that,
I will.
Because to me, it encouraged my heart. Being, I hate the whole "it's evil because you like it" type of a thing. Why do you
Yeah,
like
no, I
evil
get it.
things, and then you
Yeah.
question yourself and yada yada? and
my
it's like,
gosh, yeah.
well, no, it's marketing.
Yeah.
No.
It's great marketing.
Christmas was marketing.
Yeah.
Most of that was marketing. Most of Halloween, a lot of those things came from marketing because they could sell
They
that.
say that a lot of early Christian influence was brought forward in the early early 1900s, before when Coca-Cola still had actual
Yeah,
cocaine in it.
it was one time.
And they started. It was one time. Sorry, and they started to introduce. They needed a character. Coke sold a ton in the summer.
Yeah,
Okay, and they needed a reason for Coke to sell
in the winter.
in the winter.
That totally makes sense.
And bright red can. What is more bright red in the middle of
than
winter
Santa
than
Claus.
freaking Santa Claus?
Bro, that's amazing.
Next thing you know, they're starting. Yeah, I was just watching a video on that randomly. We're talking about it a couple weeks ago. But it's
Yeah.
like, there's so much causation there and how you bring things forward. And is there any fault or blame to give to Christianity for things that come up? Like
Sure.
like yeah, maybe a little bit, but at the same time, I mean, my kids love painting Easter eggs and hiding
for
them,
sure.
and we still do like you gotta go to bed, and we're literally throwing
Yeah.
baby carrots over the lawn, and like secretly before we throw them, I'm like kind of biting some. So when they find some in
Heck
the
yeah,
morning,
man.
they find some in the morning with like, he got this one. I'm like, oh my gosh. So like we're reveling in all that, and yeah, maybe some purists would be like, meh, but.
Yeah. Well, I think have fun, live your life.
Yeah, live
don't
by
hurt.
your own convictions.
Don't hurt people,
Yeah, live
and
by
in
your
the
own
end, redeem it. Like the whole point of redemption, I think, is to take something that shouldn't have been. The only debate I ever literally listened to, and we'll stop it here. But my only ever debate is Halloween, Hallows Eve. If you look into
Mm-hmm.
it, it's really not redemptive at all. But dude, what's more fun than dressing up with your friends, being stupid, and having a blast? Like it is truly fun. And the commercialization, they've done a good job on the marketing. It's
great.
and it creates memories. So
You go into it's like 100 degrees this weekend. You go into Lowe's, there's already like massive animatronic like Frankenstein. I'm like,
you haven't done any, seances or anything, right?
not today.
Okay, good. Okay. We'll wrap that there.